It's been 73 days. 73 days I've been here. I wake up, wander around hopelessly, and slaughter the poor souls that are cursed to live here. Wait, hasn't this update only been out for like a week? My name is saltlol, and I am the dumbest SkyBlock player alive. To the outside world, I'm nobody. But secretly, I've spent the last 13 days fighting against thousands of other players for a blue Rubik's Cube. It all started about a month ago. A nearly complete version of the Rift update was released for testing on the Alpha network. This update presented an alternate dimension of the SkyBlock world, where things could be just slightly or very off from the norm. Players soon began to calculate strategies for how to complete it the fastest and the most effectively. At first, the update seemed like a fun fever dream to run around in and explore, but the hearts of every dedicated player immediately shattered when it was discovered that there is still one thing that persists even across dimensional barriers of space-time. Alright, Barrier Street. Let's see how this works. Damia, wait, I recognize you. There are not many constants in the multiverse, but one of them is that Shen is always the richest person. In every single dimension, he's by far the wealthiest being, and in every dimension, I'm his assistant. Why? Beats me. I don't really like him, but the job is pretty chill. Anyway, Shen is hosting auctions for motes in here. Ah! Yep. Everyone's favorite competitive overpaying simulator had an alternate version of itself located inside the Rift dimension, with valuable items that were exclusive to the richest of players. Again. If you don't know, this system already exists in the main world, and it is the worst. We didn't know for sure how the auction would function, but it had high implications of operating almost exactly the same as the regular Shen's auction. A friend of mine and high-level player, JPMB 2017, disclosed to me that the best idea when the Rift update released on the main server was to race to unlock the Shen's auction, which was pretty late in the progression of the update, so that the bids could be placed for an unusually low price due to not everybody knowing about it or being able to unlock it. This is the strategy and mindset that I was diving into the Rift with, but our dreams were crushed when we finally unlocked it and realized that just like the main Shen's auction, these auctions were set to a timer. Each auction lasts exactly 1 Minecraft year, which meant that the entire server had over 5 days to not only unlock the auction, but amass loads of wealth. There was no easy way to win this. I finished the entire storyline of the Rift as well as maxed Vampire Slayer within just the first day of the update, and then I went immediately to finding a good strategy for getting motes. Motes are the equivalent of coins while inside the Rift, and just like everything else here, they make no sense. Players experimenting on the alpha release had determined that the best strategy for motes was to kill the 2 main bosses of the Rift over and over, as they rewarded a handful of motes just for completing them. I did this for the entire second day of the Rift, and became #1 on the leaderboard in kills for both bosses. It only came to my realization the next day that this was not, in fact, the best strategy for motes, and it was entirely outclassed by like 5 other things. I was frustrated after feeling like I wasted an entire day, but after some research, testing, and investigation, a strategy was born. The master strategy that I ended up using was quite the complex one, so try and stay with me. The first part of the strategy required the countless murders of French vampires in order to drop 5 McGrubber burgers, an item that permanently increases the motes you get from selling items by 5%. Because the item caps at 5 uses, this meant that I would gain 25% more motes earned from shops. After just over 2 days of grinding, I reached the 5th burger and ingested the final grubber stack. You might be thinking, wow, that's quite the increase. You must do something really exciting with that. But you would be wrong, because the most effective strategy to get motes per hour is literally just to kill the regular mobs that spawn in the vampire area without even doing bosses. Spawning vampires is the entire purpose of this region, but it costs a lot of motes just to activate the quests, and it was calculated that just killing the regular mobs and selling their melons for motes is the most effective strategy. With a heart full of passion to get this item and a strategy that could outmatch every other method on the server, what could possibly go wrong? June 22nd. Things go very wrong. The main reason there are motes instead of coins in the Rift is to provide a completely separate and non-exchangeable currency that must be gained manually by every player. However, suspicions rose when I was in a voice chat with Stuffy, Pigicial, and arithemonkey. We were curious as to how players had amassed millions of motes in just 2 days, and after about 15 minutes of investigation, we discovered that you could literally buy motes using coins with only a couple steps of transaction. You see, A very limited set of items can be transferred between the Rift and the main world, and players found out that if you bought various vampire materials off of the players in the main world, and then sent them back into the Rift where they came from, you could sell them for motes, completely destroying the purpose of motes and making the Rift Shen's auction no different than the main one. Once this strategy caught word of mouth, players such as 15H and Menacing Banana easily passed over 10 million motes each. Another bump in the road was that the very first Rift auction was cut short, and ended by admins, so that the timer of the Rift Shens would be in sync with the main Shens auction. I totally understand why this change was made, but I would like everyone to know that if I had just placed a bid on the Prism, instead of holding onto my motes, I could have won it on day 3 of the Rift, and had one of the very first ever Rift Prisms. Mote numbers continued to rampage wildly, and I had lost all hope of winning the Rift Prism. I simply couldn't compete with the insane quantity of billionaires that were overpaying for motes with their vast fortunes. Because of this, I spent my current mote earnings of about 3 million on a bid for the dead cat food. This item is significantly cheaper than the Rift Prism, but is also a talisman, so it really wasn't a waste. But later that same day, they released an update that made vampire items only exportable out of the Rift and not importable back inside. We were back in the game. After the second Rift auction ended, I claimed my dead cat food, fed it to Hello Kitty, and crafted myself the Future Calories Talisman, securing another 5 magical power. Now that I had a chance due to the removal of coin exchanging, I dove headfirst into the grind. Filled with motivation and seeing the possibility that I could in fact win the Rift Prism, I began to do almost nothing but grind motes. For nearly the entire duration of the third auction, I grinded motes non-stop. I had to explain to my mom that the reason why I was like 15 minutes late to the dinner table after she called dinner was because after feeding a purple lizard a bunch of video game hamburgers, I had to come back and kill French people and then feed him watermelons, so that I could spend motes on a blue Rubik's Cube. And I'm not sure if she got it, but at least she cares. So
I'm gonna be honest, I thought you were here the whole time.
while my friends were out there playing M7, Dungeons, Kudra, and Blaze Slayer, I was hostage to the Rift. But I was going to achieve my goal, no matter the cost. So after relentlessly grinding motes for hours on end, losing my brain cells and spending way too much time on a singular talisman in a block game, it was time to bid. So I'm pretty sure we are done with most of the grind, if not all of it. We're gonna go ahead and craft the very last enchanted vampiric melon right here, and we're gonna sell them to the mote scrubber. And this should bring us to just above 12 million motes. See right there. All right, so we got 12,024,642. Now I'm pretty confident that this will be enough, but I might have to do some later because the auction ends in 8 hours and I'm gonna have to sleep, and then I'm gonna wake up early so that I can stock the auction right before it ends. Now that I know that most of the grind, if not all of the grind, is done, I can cash in my leaderboard statistics, and as of right now, when I just finished the grind, I am number 15 in kills for Vampire Thralls at 21,702. And then the other leaderboard I'm on is number 16 in kills for Vampire Fledglings, which is at 7,719, which puts me at nearly 30,000 of these mobs killed over the course of like less than 2 weeks. In the regular Shen's auction, you can bid like as much as you want and change your bid all the time and just set a custom value, but I'm pretty sure in here that you have to up bid by 10k at a time. So we're just gonna get right to it. Right now there's 14.5 as the highest bid, and the lowest bid is 9.3. We have 12 million, which puts us at number 8. So I'm just gonna spam this button for about 3 million worth of motes because I'm gonna have to get all the way up to 12 million, but hopefully this won't take too long. Okay, we are nearing the end here, and it seems that it had me throttle the menu almost every 20 clicks. And as you can see with my chat compactor feature, this took 265 upbids, which is actually more than I thought it would be. And now we are officially number 8, and also officially completely out of motes. So now we can see right there with the little green arrow, number 8 at 12,017,000 motes for the Rift Prism. I'm gonna actually head off to bed now, and if I wake up tomorrow and I'm completely out of the top 25, I actually just don't know what I'm gonna do. But hopefully I'll still be number 8. Hopefully it's top 10. Hopefully just still in there at all. Alright everybody, so this is the morning of. It is 12 minutes until the auction ends. And I'm about to log on and see if I'm completely kicked out of the auction or I'm still gonna win. Let's check this out. This is like the biggest jump scare of my life. Okay. I'm gonna hover over this one. And if my name isn't on the initial list, I'm gonna cry. Oh. 17. 17 is still winning. But there's only 10 minutes left. Alright, so this orb should do it. There we go. 30,000. Please. Upbid. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's actually way better than I thought. Because as you saw, when I pressed it, it updated me to like 20. So at least I'm back to 18. That's not very good. Okay, so there's no way that anything I do will have an effect on this now. So we have to wait 1 minute and 13 seconds. Okay. The auction, it literally says this auction has ended. Okay. So now we have to see when the server processes itself and I close this menu, am I still top 25? Yes. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah. Let's go. Ugh. Oh my god. Escrow refunded 1 times Rift Prism. Yes. 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 You don't know what that took and what that feels like, bro. That took like 13 days of my life. I'm gonna put it on my head. Who's gonna stop me? Oh my, dude. That took so long, but we finally have it. So now, because it says it's rift transferable, we're gonna send it off out of the rift and collect it in the main world. We're gonna go pick it up on the back. There she is, the Rift Prism. Yeah! 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 From my understanding, you literally cannot like touch this thing. Like you can't do anything with it. Yeah, see look, the hex is displeased. You cannot modify this item. I've literally never seen that before. So you can't do anything with it, which is upsetting because if you can see, most of these say at the bottom that they've been upgraded by the little flashing symbols. And those mean that they've been upgraded with a recombobulator. But you can't upgrade this, which means instead of being an epic worth 12 points, it's only a rare worth 8 points. But if you look at the bottom, it says talk with Arahan in the Wizard Tower of the Hub to consume this accessory. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat a Rift Prism. And the other perk, which is like the entire point of it, is that you can join the Rift without a pass. Because for the most part, you have to pay some bits. But look at that. There is no cost. Uses your Rift Prism to join. That's pretty sick. Okay, so I actually have to buy more Jacobus slots because I can't fit this in my accessory bag without them. So we're gonna go ahead, buy that for 12 mil, which hurts me every single time I have to press this button. But there we go, 2 more slots. So we're gonna just shove this in the back. Bam, 8 SkyBlock XP. And now we have 1331 magical power. But I'm pretty sure by the end we'll have more than 1331. There's Arahan, the Rift Prism. It's very powerful, but sometimes it fails. Basically, as the Rift is a different dimension, sometimes it cannot check your accessory bag. It's a bunch of magic nonsense, but what matters is I have the fix. Imbue Rift Prism. Consume the Rift Prism to permanently enjoy its effect and gain plus 11 magical power. Okay, so 11 is a larger number than 8. but that's not that much larger of a number. I just did it. I just did it. I just pressed the button. I just pressed the button. Arahan imbued your Rift Prism right into your spirit. Okay, so now, I do have the plus 11 because it's 1334 now. That's pretty funny. Okay. So I just spent 2 weeks of my life for plus 11 magical power and a blue Rubik's Cube that I don't even have physically anymore. But there we go. It checked my accessory bag and gave me the 3 SkyBlock XP. I'm pretty sure Maxwell should show this, right? Yeah, there we go. So there's all the stuff at the top is my regular talismans, 22 from the phone case, and then 11 from imbued Rift Prism. All the others gave up. They said, no, 11 magical power is not worth like 50 plus hours. They said, no, saltlol, you are crazy. But yeah, wait, crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a room, a rubber room with rats. And rats make me crazy.